What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grimm. Today's going to be episode 1 of probably an upcoming series on this show from TLC called Welcome to Plathville. And I just want to preface this by saying this is one of the weirdest families you will see on TV. It kind of doesn't make sense when I explain it this way because you think about it, they literally have their own TV show now. But this family has raised all of their children. There's literally like 10 of them or something on this same farm. They don't really get to go away from the farm. It's 10 miles from the nearest town. They talk about that here in a little bit. And they're not allowed to consume any sort of, technology or media, and are not allowed sugar. Basically, they're like a mini cult version of a family. And these parents are absolutely failing their children, in my opinion. So we're gonna get into it today and just see how weird this family truly is. So without any further ado, I don't want to spoil too much. Let's just get into it and see what the dynamic of this family is like. Make sure you watch until the very end because you're gonna be shocked about how much they restrict their children. Like, these kids literally don't know what the real world is like at all.
Mom, dad, and 9 children ranging in age from 6 to 21. We live on a 55-acre farm in a rural part of South Georgia.
So I was wrong. It's actually 9 children, but that's pretty close. I mean, that's still more than you should be having, bro. Like, come on, simmer down. We don't need to be having that many kids, but I have a little bit of a theory that they want just honestly a bunch of farm hands around, and that's why they keep having these freaking kids, because they don't want them to leave. They just want them to stay here, not get educated, and keep working on this farm for the rest of their lives. I think that's their ultimate goal for all these children of theirs, which is kind of sick. I mean, you don't want to be having your kids restricted like that. If anything, you want them to go out and live a full life, but that's these parents' worst nightmare. So the dad, as you just saw, looks straight up like that dude from that weird American Gothic painting with the guy holding the pitchfork and his like kind of homely wife standing next to him. He just has that creepy gaunt about him, and you'll see as this series continues, this guy is he's a little bit creepy. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if it's on purpose or if he's just kind of a weirdo, but he gives off some major creep vibes. And the mother, don't even get me started. You're gonna tell if I keep making these videos just how much I despise her. I've seen a lot of this first season, I will admit, just from like various clips and stuff, but yeah, her decision making, she kind of runs the family. The dad kind of stays on the back burner and gets asked about things sometimes, but she makes all the decisions. And I don't know why, but she just wants everyone around her to be as miserable as she is. Like, nobody gets to have fun. She's just the fun police, and she's enforcing her rules everywhere.
I love soccer and football and basketball.
Do you know who Tom Brady is?
I don't think so. Who is Spider-Man? Something that I don't know.
And we can laugh and be all jovial about this, but really the underlying thing about this family is they are robbing their children of culture and experience, stuff that's needed in the outside world. Like, being an adult is harsh, bro. I feel like I had a pretty good setup going into adulthood, and I'm still struggling out here because it freaking sucks, bro. So these kids are just gonna be faced with that, but like to another level, because they don't even know what Spider-Man or LeBron James are. 2 giant pop culture icons. And while a lot of people might make the argument of, oh, pop culture is not that important to understand about, but I think it is. That's how you connect with people your age. These kids are going to be seen as absolute weirdos as soon as they step outside and actually interact with other people. And they're like, wait, you don't know who freaking LeBron James is, bro? Come on. It's like the little things. They all add up.
Around here, I'm more the responsible one. I'm not bragging or anything, but that's just my personality, I guess. It's usually up to me to make sure everything gets done.
And this is Lydia. Good old Lydia. So I hate saying this because I honestly feel bad about all these children, but this is the child I dislike the most, because you will see if you have siblings, everyone has this one sibling that's like this for the most part, especially if you have more than like 3 siblings. The chances of this person being in your family is so high. She is the goody 2-shoes, just wants to be exactly like mom and dad, does all the chores, and basically takes care of this family, because I don't know what the mom's out here doing, but it's not Jack, because she's out here making dinner, putting up the clothes on the hang wire or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called because I have a washing machine like a normal person living in the 21st century or whatever this century is. I'm honestly stupid, but either way, this girl is so good that she goes out of her way to make sure that the other children are cast in a bad light. And if we continue this series, Lydia's road is a dark one, okay? She's the one that faces the most turmoil in this family as they start to break apart, as these older kids want to venture away and start to kind of dislike the way that their parents raised them and realize how much their parents are failing them by not showing them the outside outside world. And meanwhile, Lydia's like sitting back home like, oh, I'm trying to pray to make it all happen and make them all love each other again. I don't know why I can't just keep making dinner for everyone and they'll stay here forever. Like, I don't know. She's just the most indoctrinated into this way of thought and thinks that this is the way she should be living, which that's what's fulfilling to her. That's cool, but you'll see, she's definitely the snitch of the family. And just like her mother, is a sergeant on the fun police.
Nothing against my parents. Like, I love my parents, but I don't agree with everything they say and think.
And this is Mariah, the one that is the oldest daughter, or not the oldest daughter, but she's a year older than Lydia, and they could not be more different, bro. Like, this girl is absolutely woke from the damages that her family has been doing to her by raising her in such a limited fashion. Like, you might not agree with me, but if you don't show your kids the world, you are screwing them over massively, because I don't want to repeat myself as earlier, but I mean, when you are joining the workforce and joining just the adult world, you're gonna need certain tools that are not being readily available to these children. Like, they're absolutely screwed when they join the real world. And I think this girl knows that and realizes it, but you will see she has turned into the absolute black sheep of the family simply because she doesn't want to go with everything mommy and daddy is telling her to do. So now that you've met kind of the key players, the last person we need to meet is the oldest son, who is actually out on his own. And by out on his own, I mean down the road they bought a house. I think it's the next nearest house, a couple miles away, like they said, but he lives with his wife that he obviously married and kind of went away with. And just because he's living on his own with his wife, his parents absolutely hate his wife's guts, and that is a main cause of tension in the show as well. Pretty much they don't want their children to be happy or live fulfilling lives that don't involve them. Like, I don't know what they expected, but I think they had all these 9 children and were like, yeah, we're gonna grow old and everyone's gonna live on the farm together and we're never gonna go outside. Well, actually we get to go outside, you know, go grocery shopping, do fun stuff as adults, but our kids, no, that's never gonna happen. Which is just a great angle to take parenting from. I really think these parents are doing a good job. Totally not sarcastic there.
She watched more TV growing up than I did. We didn't ever watch TV shows. One of the big ones that we've been watching lately is Friends.
Oh man, and he's out on his own and he still doesn't really have someone good out there to teach him pop culture. Like, you might hate me for this comment as well. I mean, this might be a hot take for some of you that are in the older crowd who might have resonated with this show more when it was on in the 90s, but Friends is the biggest trash heap in television. So not funny, not even accurate to society anymore. Like, that might as well be a million years ago. But I guess it's good he gets to finally watch TV. But just his excitement over watching something as simple as Friends shows how much childhood was robbed from this guy. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be on your computer playing video games all day or watching stuff that is a bit too mature for you, but you still should be able to enjoy simple things like that, especially in the time we're living in. I'm sorry, like, this dude's parents dropped the ball if he's getting this hyped over Friends.
This is my first Coke. That's really good.
And they have to go out and chronicle things that we all take for granted here in normal life. But after 20 some odd years, this guy has never had a can of Coca-Cola. So this is a big life development for him. And it's stuff like this that just really should make you realize, as much as I do right here, how much these people were robbed of a normal life experience. Like, we might complain about our parents, but at least they let us enjoy normal things. And, you know, everything's good in moderation. But if you teach your children to be scared of everything in the world, including sugar and like the occasional can of soda, you're just teaching them to be afraid of simply everything. And the most annoying part is the mom talks about her childhood and how she grew up, you know, with kind of a difficult background, let's say. Her father was not around and her mother was simply trying to do her best but didn't always do the best. So because of the fact that this mom went out and lived a hard life in her early years, I think she's trying to overcompensate by making sure there's no possibility of that happening by keeping her kids locked away in this compound on this farm of theirs and not teaching them anything. Like, they don't even go to school. She is their homeschool teacher. A little detail I forgot to add, which I have no idea how intelligent this lady is, but it's got to be hard literally teaching 9 kids of different age levels at the same time. So I doubt these kids are all that educated either. Just everything about this is a complete mess. And I think this mom is super overcompensating for the fact that she had a bad childhood, and it just doesn't work that way. Like, she's still perpetuating a bad childhood for her other children now, but just in a totally different way, the opposite end of the spectrum, because they are being over-coddled and will not even realize the way that the world works until they're dumped out on their own at 18. Well, they probably won't be that way. If anything, their parents will be begging them to stay. But, you know, when they do venture exposure out, which I'm sure most of them will, they're gonna be absolutely lost. So good luck with that. Like I said, this is just the beginning, but throughout this season and the next season, the family absolutely unravels as these kids get older and realize just how much their parents are screwing them up. And yeah, you might think, oh, how much could actually happen in one season of a show? But they do grow up quite a bit and see just how cool the outside world is and how limited their experience has been as humans on this earth. So yeah, if you enjoyed this intro and you want to get more toxicity from this family in the future, make sure you drop a like and leave a comment letting me know that you want to see more. Maybe some of you have seen this. I know I have a lot of TLC heads on this channel, but I'm hoping that I'm allowing this to reach a bigger audience because I thought this was a very interesting show. Just to show off, I mean, the way that some people are living out there. No judgment to you if this is how you live or you want to live, but I just don't agree with it. I think you need to show your children the way the real world works so that they can live and, you know, breathe on their own. Especially what if something happened to these parents right now? Every single one of their kids would be screwed because they're going off of their crappy homeschool curriculum that probably doesn't teach them jack about the real world, and they don't know how anything works. Like, they wouldn't even know how to pump gas into their car if it weren't for their parents going around and doing it for them. So yeah, let me know what you thought down in the comments. As always, I'll see you all in the next video, and until then, peace out.